What's up, bitch? My name's Natalia. Don't listen to my sister because my past don't teach me shit.
Hi, my name is Paola, and I am here because my sister does not learn from her past.
Go. My name is Manuel Sanchez. I'm here to support Paola because Natalia's out of control.
My name is Nancy Torres, and I'm today's moderator. Welcome back. We're here to help Natalia. Can everyone give us a round of applause? Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
I've been better.
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Today I'll be asking you a question regarding the main question or topic of do people usually learn from their past? Where do you guys stand?
Personally, I believe people do tend to learn from their past.
In all honesty, I have yet to be convinced that people learn from their past.
I agree with Paola. I presume that people do learn at least some type of lesson.
I see we have two different opinions on the topic.
Well, you see, my stance is that people do tend to learn from their past, whether it is in that moment or years after. Recently, I have read a short story called Adam.
Before you continue, can you give us a little insight on your short story?
Yes, sure. Adam is about a guy named Heinz Netschman, a Holocaust survivor, is at a hospital in Chicago, and he is waiting for his wife to go give birth to their baby. Heinz is the only Netschman left since the rest died in the Holocaust, and he is fortunate that the baby will be continuing on the family name. Whenever he got the news about his baby, he was extremely ecstatic. He goes out and informs people about his newborn, but they seem uninterested and unappreciative about his exciting news. He doesn't understand why they aren't as happy as he is, and he does not let that put him down, since he is blessed to have started a family.
This is interesting. And how does this relate to learning from your past?
You see, in the story, Heinz, the main character, learned to cherish and appreciate life, especially the start of a new one. Despite going through the most difficult situation any individual could go through, such as watching, and I quote, each member of his family being led away and killed by the Nazis. Due to his past, he learned that there is more to life, and we should treasure it while we still have the chance.
Natalia, is this enough to change your opinion towards the question?
Well, you see, I understand where Paola is coming from, but I personally believe that people do not usually learn from their past.
I see you're the only one who doesn't have the idea that people learn from their past. Why may that be?
I actually have a short video that quickly shows why my opinion is the way it is, if I may.
That sounds great. But before you begin, can you give us a little bit of detail regarding what the video is about?
Yes, of course. I don't want to give too much away and ruin it, but this clip that I will be showing you is about how we really haven't changed and progressed our behaviors, how we have not yet moved on from a problem that we all know is wrong.
Very interesting statement, Natalia. Well, with that being said, let's watch the video.
Civil rights picture of those years was one of violence, of segregationists lashing out in resentment at the school desegregation decision. The names in the news were names like Little Rock and Clinton, Tennessee. Somewhere outside the picture was Dr. King, speaking, traveling, but seldom making news as a leader. The battle in Albany raged throughout the spring and summer of 1962. The aim was desegregation of all public facilities, the method nonviolent protest. Unexpectedly, Albany police countered with perfect order and nonviolent arrest.
What would happen to me from some of our sick white brothers? Well, I don't know what will happen now, but it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Okay, and now that we have seen the past, you may think we have changed, but that is not exactly true, because this is how we live today.
Worth police officer appealing his punishment over an arrest testified in his own defense today. Our Marianne Martinez was inside the hearing.
The Fort Worth police officer in the video of this controversial arrest told his story for the first time today. Officer William Martin, a 12-year department veteran, was called to a Fort Worth neighborhood by Jacqueline Craig a few days before Christmas. The mom believed her 7-year-old son was choked by a man in the neighborhood for littering. After arguing with the officer, both she and her daughters were arrested. As a result of those arrests, Martin was suspended without pay for 10 days. Martin claimed the chief of police offered him a less severe punishment if he apologized to the Craig family on MLK Day, an offer Martin refused.
Because they wanted it done on the holiday, and it seemed in poor taste, and I had no problem apologizing. It just seemed like it would be received as insincere, and that the chief was looking for some way. My opinion, I think the chief was looking for some way to make himself look better.
Craig also spoke at the hearing today, saying Officer Martin failed to perform his duty as a cop and check on her son.
It's not okay for your kids to be there asking for help for somebody that took an oath to protect and serve, and you neglect your job duty. That's not okay.
Now, the chief of police also testified here yesterday as part of this hearing. He was specifically asked about that claim about making a public apology on MLK Day. He denied that. He did say there was an offer of a lesser punishment with an apology, but it had nothing to do with MLK. Reporting live from Fort Worth, Marianne Martinez, CBS 11 News.
I understand what you are saying, Natalia, but the past guides a person into their future. So I would have to agree that we do learn from our past.
How can you support your statement?
I can support my statement with an article I have recently read, which is Martin Luther King's Strike Towards Freedom. He says that as a child, he has seen the brutality that the white race has done to the black or other different races. With Martin's past, it has led to him wanting equality for all of the people. These pictures are some type of proof that the whites thought them as less. In his autobiography, Memoir, that all of these things have done something to my growing personality. This supports my stand on why we should learn from our past, and it will affect us in our further decisions.
Agreed. According to Ambush by Tim O'Brien, you do learn and reflect from your past.
Paola, since your view is that people do learn from their past, how can Ambush relate to the previous short story, Adam?
Just like Hines and Adam learned a lesson, Tim and Ambush learned a lesson as well. For example, in Ambush, Tim reflected on a past from whenever he was out at war. Due to his reflection, he bases his future with the experiences he went through in his past. By comparing Adam and Ambush, it becomes clear that people learn from their past, even if the lesson's outcome is positive or negative.
Do any of you think that Paola's stories could have some sort of similarities to anyone else's evidence?
I believe that King's memoir is similar to Paola's stories because he also reflects back to his past when he was finding out about the deeply conspicuous of the varieties of injustice in our society.
But you see, despite any evidence, we still have reoccurring events because people don't learn. I think this happens because people don't experience it for themselves.
In the Achieve article, Remembering Dred Scott, it talks about the past, and it says that it contains lessons that inform us that there is arrogance in the world, and it also contains answers to our problems.
Me. Why are lessons relevant to us?
The past can prepare us into the future. People get signs, for example, premonitions that end up happening in the future. We can learn from these premonitions in order to get what we want. In a different article called Keeping the Past Alive, the narrator in the end talks about how old folks talk about what might befall in the people in the future. The old people's predictions are becoming true, and they could have learned from it if they chose to.
Great statement, Manuel. After our discussion today, where do y'all stand?
Even with our differences, we can all agree that you do learn some type of lesson, despite it being good or bad.
At the beginning of the discussion, I was determined that people do not learn from their past. But as the conversation continued, I started to get convinced that to a certain extent, people do eventually learn from their past.
I thought that everyone will consider the lessons that the past granted us. But this discussion has opened my eyes, and now I think some choose to be ignorant and now want to change.
Coming into the discussion, I was pretty confident with my viewpoint. But as Natalia was stating some facts about the past and the present, I had a wake-up call. I came into a conclusion that people do learn from their past, usually though.
Today's discussion was interesting. I can say for all that we learned something new today. To give you a direct answer to the question, do people learn from their past? It is yes. People do learn from their past.